being the first time when I actually used the multi-step dispelling technique in combat, I almost didn't make it. Oh right, he is the only one on the properly only one on the planet who can use a multi-step dispelling technique, because he only taught Brynhorn how to do it on one spell. So Brynhorn dispelling technique is one thing. Right. That makes sense. I mean, people possibly could do it if they also were talented enough like him, or like skilled enough like him. Less talent, more skill. Barely got to finish my movements right as the fireballs beginning to form. Once the fireballs fade into thin air, I decided to make full use of the training I got from Luna and cast 3 water spells at one after the other in an attempt to catch my enemy off guard. Just as I thought I was getting the upper hand, the unthinkable happens. Fireball from Peter's previous spell quickly start forming around me again, despite my successfully dispelling. Knowing that I only have a few seconds to get away from them, I activate the air currents that were lying dormant around me until now and fly away, trying to put as much distance between me and the fireballs as I can. You won't be able to outrun them, Peter tells me, as I'm now dodging fireballs left-right. Since you knew how to cast the spell in reverse, I assume that you must also be aware of what it does. Those fireballs will follow you to the end of the ethereal plane if they need to. There is no way to stop them. He is right. The only way to counter this spell is to either dispel it in time, or to conjure a shield powerful enough to withstand the impact of 50 explosions. There's no way I can build a protective layer of earth or ice that is durable enough with the limited spells I have at my disposal. This is the reason why I instinctively try to dispel it. But if the dispelling not work, I did everything correctly, and I even saw the spell being cancelled. So then why? Why are these fireballs still following me? My analysis indicates that you are having trouble with your current engagement. I hear the overseer's voice next to me all of a sudden. You require my assistance. I turn my head to my right and see the overseer's green-eyed drone is now following me around, while simultaneously avoiding every single one of the fireballs without any sort of effort. Yes, I shout as I make a sharp turn to the left, nearly evading 3 fireballs that are rushing towards me at the same time. I require assistance. Give me assistance. Request confirmed. The overseer drone says as I continue to graciously glide between the fireballs without care in the world, now initiating rescue procedure. Please be advised that the Overseer protocol is currently unable to use its experimental procedures designed for the ethereal plane due to high risk of endangering one or more members of the group named Cutthroat Dave. If you wish to file a complaint concerning the Overseer's inefficiency, we politely ask that you refer to section 5C E789 of the Overseer operating manual. Thank you for understanding. There was an anime I forget the name of. That anime also had like a thing where like someone could dispel magic. So as soon as magical circles were made, he would analyze them and break them. So yeah, he can't like dispel magic after it's been like cast. That's interesting. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, I get it, I say. I just don't need the experimental protocol. Just do anything. Acknowledge, the Overseer says. Experimental procedure are now on hold until further notice. Rescue procedure will be commencing in a T-5 second. Have a pleasant day. Shortly after the Overseer stops talking, a green light envelops the entire area of the battlefield, and all the battlefields that were following me disappear in an instant, leaving both me and Peter speechless. How on earth did you manage to dispel such a complex spell after it had already been cast? I would ask the Overseer, shocked. Your interpretation of the event that transpired is partly incorrect, the Overseer says. The Overseer protocol did not, in fact, dispel anything. I simply took advantage of my knowledge acquired from the Magium to disable all types of ethereal matter manipulation in this general area. Right, it's not. These are not actual spells. They just think they are spells. I see. Ethereal matter manipulation, I say. You mean like you can create stuff out of nothing by simply focusing on your mind? Affirmative. Overseer says, according to my analysis, the rebel leader named Peter was trying to trick you by converting ethereal matter into fireballs and making it look like his previous spell had not been cancelled. In reality, the fireballs were all being controlled by him manually. None of them were following you automatically. So that's why he wasn't casting any other spells, all of us being chased by the fireballs, I say. It's because he was already using all of his focus to control each individual fireball with his mind. You, Peter says while pointing towards the Overseer, you're only a machine, how dare you. For any complaints, please refer to section 5C E789 of the Overseer protocol manual. The Overseer tells Peter, are you mocking me? Peter says, you may have somehow prevented me from manipulating ethereal matter, but I can still cast all my spells. You will be sorry for this. The Overseer protocol does not possess the ability to be sorry or to regret any of its past actions. This is the Overseer. The only thing I am capable of doing is analyze my mistake and learn from them. I've heard enough, Peter tells the overseer. You can learn and analyze all you want. After you dissolve into the ether, prepare to die. Fight Peter together with the overseer. Let the overseer fight Peter while it dispel all the Peter's spells. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. If you can dispel the spells, overseer can just fight. Let the overseer fight Peter while they dispel all the Peter's spells. Peter's first attack against the overseer is try to create a stone cage around him in order to limit his movement. Since the spell he's using is very easy to predict from the first hand motion, I dispel it with the ease, forcing Peter to retreat as the green-eyed Dawn is now the one going on offensive. After I cancel his third spell, Peter finally figures out that what I'm doing, and he stops using any of his complicated spells, limiting himself only to the simplest and most basic type of magic in his repertoire, because that probably doesn't take a long time to cast, so that he won't give me enough time to use my dispelling techniques before he finishes his casting. I try in vain to predict his next few spells, but I soon realize there is no point in using this tactic anymore. Might as well just fight him with regular spells, because right now I'm not making any meaningful contribution to the battlefield. Just as I'm about to fly closer to Peter, I feel two ropes tying myself tightly around my ankles. Then, not even a second later, two other ropes bind themselves around my wrist as well, pulling my arm behind my back. Then I turn my head around. I realize that the 4 ropes that have been conjured from below me while I wasn't looking. I was so focused on the battle that it didn't even cross my mind to check my surroundings. Was this his plan all along, to distract me while his fight against the overseer, while secretly using conjuration magic to make these restraints appear out of nowhere? Damn it, if only I could move my arms a little, I might be able to burn the ropes with a fire spell or something. I'm not at a level where I can cast spells without moving my arms, so there is a level like that. Well, I suppose Aiden does that. Isn't there some spell that require only to move my finger, which could be helpful in this situation? What about the overseer? Maybe he can get me out of this situation. I need to call out to him. Hey overseer, can you help me? Time's up, Peter says before I get to finish my sentence. Then he uses my initial lightning spell against me, making me lose my consciousness in a matter of seconds. After being unconscious for some time, I begin to vaguely hear the voice of the King of the Underground and Peter, who both sound rather tense. While I try to wake up, realize I can't move my body at all. Even my eyes won't open. It feels like I'm only half awake right now. Right, lightning spells don't really work on him like the same way, because he's Lasethi or something, I think. With my mind still trying to decide if what I'm hearing is really happening or if it's all just a dream. We can't just leave them here, damn it. The King of the Underground says they're going to get killed at this rate. With all due respect, sir, why do you care so much about what happens to them? Peter says they were more than willing to kill us earlier than when they fought against us. What obligation do we have to save their lives? They have been an enemy in this fight, but that does not negate all the help that the group has given us in the time of need. The King of the Underground says, at least wake them up before we leave. Give them a chance to defend themselves from whatever this is. As you wish, my lord, Peter says. But I will only wake the little girl up. The other may know of a way to cancel my teleportation. I do not want to risk it. Shortly after their talk, I hear the sound of their bodies vibrating loudly as they are teleporting away, and then there is only silence for a while. The silence doesn't last for long, however, because it soon gets replaced with the sound of Flower shouting in my ear while she is shaking me violently. Barry, wake up. She shouts desperately. You're fading away. Please wake up. As I finally manage to pull myself together and open my eyes, I realize that she was right. I really am fading away. My body has become almost transparent, and I'm being overwhelmed by a sensation of fatigue and nausea that is hard to describe, while my consciousness is drifting between earth and ethereal plane constantly. Barry, listen to me, Flower says when she sees that I've opened my eyes. Do you remember what the inside of your mind looks like on the ethereal plane? Can you visualize it? I try to listen to her words, but they're not making any sense in my head. Everything feels like it's so far away, as if I were only a spectator watching the end of my life unfold before my eyes, without grasping the direct impact that it has on me. As a person, I'm just so tired. The only thing I want to do now is go back to sleep. Barry, I need you to know that you understand me, Flower says in a panicked voice. I need you to tell me that... Oh my god, you're almost gone. Barry, stay with me, please, Barry. Flower's screams are nothing more than background noise to me now. As soon as my body from the ethereal plane becomes completely transparent, the fatigue disappears. It was completely replaced by a feeling of calm. I quickly begin to lose any sense of who I am or what I have been doing until a few moments prior. I can feel myself melting with light around me, while my consciousness is slowly fading away. At long last, it's over. At long last, I can rest. Well, that was the longest death message we have ever gotten. Interesting. So we're gonna go with the same thing, and we'll be back from where I think would be the good idea. What if we do fight together with Peter? What happens then? Instead of letting, dispel his tricks or whatever.